training, or we are here to learn about Excel and how we can use the tool in maybe implementing our data in our data analytics, so that maybe if we okay, Thompson, you will help us record, and then maybe after the session, you will maybe be able to share on the group, so that maybe those who will not manage to join, they'll be able to also maybe follow from that point. So as I was saying, is that we are going to take you through Excel as a tool of data analytics, and maybe a tool for maybe performing different activities concerning maybe in metadata, so that maybe as we are going to learn maybe about those other tools, we'll be able to have a foundation of uh, at least how maybe you can get your data and maybe like navigate through your data. So just run my presentation first, and then we can do an introduction of the team, and then we can start. So throughout this program, I believe my screen is visible. In case it's not, you can just notify me, so that at least we'll be able to maybe work around. So my name is Augustine Simio Waswa, and throughout this program, we are going to learn about Excel. So we'll just do an introduction of Excel guidelines, and then we have Excel functions, formulas, and calculations, and then we have some pivot tables and graphs and charts. That one will come in handy during the advanced part of Excel, when we'll be looking at Power Pivot and Power Queries, and then we have dashboards and then data storytelling when it comes to Excel. So there's a team that we worked on this content, and also like we are going to divide ourselves into three. So we have Owen, and then we have Onesmus and Waswa, and now so Owen will work on the introduction part of the program, so that that is the introduction part. We are going to work on, let's say, things like file. Owen will have his part to work on, and then Onesmus and I will also have my part to work on. So I'll stop my presentation first at this point to continue, and then so our rule of engagement, we will wish to have an engaging session, whereby at least in case you don't understand something, just bring it to our attention, and then now we'll be able to help you where you are not able to get maybe, or where you are not able to understand something. We'll just be able to help you on that. So we are not that perfect in the tool. The tool is very much wide. So for those who are maybe those who understand Excel in a certain level, kindly allow us to go through, so that those who don't understand, they can also understand. There are those maybe who feel maybe you are gurus in the Excel, maybe you don't understand the advanced part, but allow us to start from the beginning as we go, so that we can bring everyone on board, and then also like we can ensure that everybody is able to understand. So that one, I think it's clear. This one is I think discussion group. So try to unmute your mic if it's possible, or try to use your message tab to maybe bring any question that you have, so that we can deal with the issues as we progress. So the session will take between 3 and 5 weeks. 30s. So, and it will be from Thursday, like Thursday today, it's from 6:30 to 8:30, and then Friday it will be on 7 to 6:30, no, to 8:30. So just be ready in case you get anything that comes on your way after a session. You can bring a question in the next session so that we can go through it together. So I'll introduce the team. So I'll start by myself. As I said, I'm Augustine Simio. So my background is in accounts, finance, but now I anticipate in working on the data, so data area most of the time, but accounts or finance is mostly data. We analyze a lot of data each and every day, so that is my area, and we use mostly Excel as a tool of doing most of our work. So I will bring on board Owen and then Onesmus. You can introduce yourselves, and then now we start from the first. Owen, you can introduce yourself, and then Onesmus, or Onesmus and then Owen. Anyone who is ready.
Okay, hello guys. As stated, Onesmus Karaoke. Currently working on advisory as a data analyst. I also graduated with pure applied math as my degree, the university. I'm looking forward learning from you as also dispense my wisdom on platform that we're gonna be using all through the training. Thank you. Owen, go on.
Um, Hi guys, my name is Owen Muthukia.
Hi, Owen.
Hi. So I'm an IT person. I have a background in IT, and I just completed data science. So I'm glad to be taking you through this session, and I hope we get to improve each other's skills. Basically, we are not supposed to be the ones training you, but we are basically combining our minds and efforts all together so that we can bring something of substance. Thank you.
Okay, so Owen, thank you. So there's a question about, so this session is not going to be theory because we'll be working with some data, and then also it's a guided session. So in case you have any data you can bring on board, we look at it, we work on it, but we'll start with whatever we have on our end so that at least we'll be able to at least get some basics, because the harder stuff will just keep coming as we progress. So we are going to start with smaller data as we progress. I think that one will be a very it will be the better way to start and go ahead. So I'll start by presenting my screen. So you need to understand the version of Excel that you have. So I'll be using Excel 2021 and 2019. Those are the Excels that I have. Some of us already have maybe Excel 360, which is okay. I think most of the time you'll find that the changes are quite few, not that much. So in my part, I'm going to start with the introduction. So we agreed to start with understanding ribbons first, so that as we are going, or as we'll be going forward with the training, wherever we maybe go and pick something from the ribbon, it will be easy for us to understand how the ribbon works. So on my part, I will start and then give Owen, and then Onesimus will take and do the part that they'll be working on. So on my part, I'm going to work on the file section. So the file section is here. And then we have Power Pivot. Power Pivot is the one that we are going to work on in the advanced section. This is it here. In case you're not hearing me well, or my screen is not visible, you can just chalk out so that I adjust. So, and then there is insert section. Insert section is in this point here. And then we have, for people who are working on stats or something like that, there's something called regress it. I saw it somewhere while just going through this program in the Excel section. And then from that point, I'll work on in the terms of formulas, I'll work on the statistical formulas and then date and time. And then I will work on advanced and intermediate section on pivot tables and models and the dashboard. So those are part of the trainings that I will do. The others I'll be just guiding, I'll be supporting the other leads during their sessions. So let me just start. This is an interface of Excel. For those who maybe don't have it, you go and maybe after you've downloaded it, you just open. And then the first thing you'll find when you open Excel, you'll find there are these sections here. So most of the time you go to the blank, or sometimes you open it using a data set that you already have maybe in your PC. So it will just open directly. Let's say maybe you want to insert your own data, so you just use that process. So the first thing when you open Excel, or when you are starting to work with Excel, you need to know how to do your setups of Excel. Sometimes, most of the time when you have installed Excel, there are some things that are not usually available on the front end here. So something like this, developer, sometimes you need to go and activate it. And then also there is a Power Pivot. And then, mostly Power Pivot and the developers are not usually on this part here. So it's mostly important to know how to activate them. So the part that you will do all that work is through the file. Sometimes even when you are doing your savings, when you are saving it, you will just come to the file here. So you can access it by clicking here, or you can use some Excel shortcuts by, let's say, when you click an Alt, you'll see F, and then you click F and it will open. And then now you can go to whichever part that you want. In case you want to go to home, you just press maybe that home, and then it will give you some those like these ones you can see. So you just press your keyboard, and at the end of the day, it will just bring you to where you are supposed to go. So we have home page. The home page, it's now this interface that you are seeing. You can decide to open a new workbook. Once you open a new workbook, you'll get a worksheet, and then now you can add as many worksheets as possible. The only disadvantage of using a lot of worksheets like this is that it will be very huge, and then you will find that you will start having a lot of lag on Excel, and then also sometimes it occupies a lot of space. So you need to be very much careful when you are using a lot of worksheets. So also it usually affects when you are doing maybe data automation. When you are doing your automation, it will try to lag your workbook. So we have new in case you want to do a new one. So you can go to new and then you just still open it, or you can use here or come to new and then there is open. You can find maybe sometimes you saved your data and then it disappeared from maybe, or you don't know where you saved it. So you just come to open and then you maybe open the most recent one, because if it's now that you opened it, you'll be able to see it on open. So you don't need to go and start searching it on local disk C and then start moving from one area to another, or without knowing where the data is or where your data set is located. So, and then we have info. Info is about the information about your Excel and so on. So that one, I don't think you'll be able to interact with it that much. So we have save in case you want to save. And then we have save as. Save as is very important because maybe you want to save there are different types of savings that you can do. Let me just open a data. Let me use this one. Just a minute, let me download one that I have here. And you see something like Google Sheets and Excel is almost the same. Most of the functions in Google Sheet and Excel are almost the same. The only difference is that this one you work with it everywhere. Like this data set, you find that maybe I saved it in Google Sheet so that I'll be able to access it whenever I need it. So this is a data set, and I need this one. So these are workbook. So in the workbook, there are different worksheets like these ones here. So let's say I want to save this workbook in my local PC. It's not in my local PC, so I can decide to come and save it as, and then I can decide now where I want to save it. So you go to your local machine, and then maybe I want to save it on my desktop, or let's say I want to save it on my downloads, like that. So here on Save As, you need to know which kind of you want to save it as what? Is it an Excel sheet? Do you want to save it as a text file? Do you want to save it as a CSV? Do you want to save it as all these ones here, some of them, or macros enabled? I think sometimes you open some other files and you find that maybe they can't open in your PC. Mostly you find like Excel 2010. If you're not careful, you'll find that if something was created using maybe Excel 360, when you open it in 2010, it will not open. Most people, I see them using 2010 because the updates are no longer there and they don't bring those trouble of maybe needing your Excel to be activated. So you find that when you create a macros, or when you create a macros enabled data set in an 360 or 2021 Excel, when you open it in 2010, it will not open, or it will start giving you a lot of errors. So you need to be careful about that. So most of the time you open it as a macros enable workbook or workbook. So the most important things are usually CSVs. And when you come to CSV, you can see this CSV, comma, delimited, and there's this CSV. There are these ones here, and then the MS-DOS, and so as you go. For those people who have worked, there are some data set when you open them or you are trying to upload them in a various let's say sites, they not allow you to update in case maybe they are not comma delimited. So mostly the reason why you do wish to save your file as a CSV, it's because mostly CSVs, they are usually small. Let's see this just an example using these files. I will do this. I'll go back home. Okay, now here I will delete these ones. I only need one. So the reason why I saved this file on Google Drive, on Google Sheet, is because I can maybe decide to delete these other ones and then work with one, and then maybe I download another one. Like this one, let's see. Let me just save it. It's already in downloads. When I come to my local PC, I can find it on my downloads here. Let me delete these ones. If you are sending a question and it's urgent, you can just notify me so that I attend to it. So like this one here, you will see that this one is 17 kilobytes and it's a very small file. So that is why maybe you are seeing it having that that amount. So let's say I want to save it as a CSV. It's mostly important to know why the difference between the two. So when you come here, I will wish to use this one. That is the one that I usually use. So they are both 17 because the file is very small. But in case maybe we have a very huge file, I'll find a huge file and then we can see the difference. You'll find that it will become smaller also compared to that. And when you open them, the orientations are usually different. So that is the importance of saving it as a CSV. And when you look at this one, you can find that this one is a Excel file, this one is a CSV file. So that is the difference. If you want to know if you have saved it as a CSV or an Excel file. So that is how you can know. So let's go back and continue. Okay, so we are still on the file part. So, and we've reached on the save. So also you can, let's see, there's also, you can save it as a, you can decide to save your file as a PDF. And the reason why it's important to do it as PDF, mostly if you are working on organizations. Let's say there's a communication, maybe someone maybe wants their data and you decide to send them in Excel like this, just like that. So you'll find that that person will open it and try to maybe manipulate something inside that file. So to like make sure that your file is somehow protected. Sorry, this one is I wanted this. So to just make sure that that file is not tampered with, maybe with the other party that you have shared your file with, you can decide to save this one as PDF. So the first thing that you do when you are doing your PDF, you need to change your layout to make sure that it fits in one let's say one part. So mostly you do your so you make sure that these breaks, these point breaks, like this one, it's in one sheet, so that when you are saving it in a PDF, it's only it only appears as a one page. Like this one, when you save it as normal like this, you'll find that maybe there is a lot of breaks, and that one will cut the sheets. So let's try save this one as PDF. Also, it depends with the data that you have. If it's a huge data, you'll find that like this one here, I've already made those changes. So like this one, when you send this data, someone will not have to change it. And most of the time you find this one when you are getting maybe things like bank statements. There are those banks that will never send you a Excel sheet statement. They will send you in PDF form. The reason is because of this issue, whereby maybe you can send it in Excel and then someone decide to tamper with the data, and then at the end of the day it becomes something else when it comes to data tampering. So that one is very important, saving. And then there is print also. When you are printing out your data, like this one, I've already done that orientation, and I'm very much amazed with the Excel 2021. Once you do it once, you don't need to come and repeat it. There are those like 2010. In case you don't remain on the same orientation, it will just do something else. You could see maybe 2 or 3 pages here. So that is printing. And then there is sharing. Sharing mostly if you want to share it with other people. And then there is export, in case you want to export it in PDF. But now the better way is to come and save it as, and then now you can share it with someone. And then there's publish, you can publish, there's that publish. So when it comes to account, if you don't know what version of your Excel, you can come to account here and then see it. Like this one here, you can see it's 360. And then you can change your Excel color here. You can decide to go black. There are those who like black. This one looks cool, but now it will have most of the changes also on your front end on this other part. So this is something cool you can maybe play along with. There is white, and then based on the system, it can pick whatever the system is. Like my system is black currently, so it will just pick the system the system theme, the way it is. So the most important part of the file part is option. This is where now you do most of the things, like general options. Most of the time, don't touch anything there. There are formulas here. So data. So the most important thing is sometimes you find that maybe my Excel and yours is different. And the reason why it's different is because you can come here, like here up here. If I want to add something on easy access, I come to easy access there, and then you are able to add or customize quick tools here. Like here on the quick tools, you can see there's save is here, and then undo it's here, and then there's redo, it's here. So let's say I want to add something like calculate now here, or I want to add boundaries on quick access. That is up here on the upper part of my Excel. I'll come, click add, and then I will come and maybe do calculate and then add. This one is already in quick access. Oh yeah, it's calculate. So let's say I want copy, and then I click add, and then you do okay. Once you do okay, they are here. In case I want to do anything with these ones, so most of the time add something that you will really need it there, so that you don't clutter your Excel on the upper part. Okay, so if you want to remove them, it's also easy. You just come there, and then you come to quick access, and then click remove, click remove. Once you remove, you click OK, and they disappear like that. So you can decide to even have nothing on top here, in case maybe you've mastered the shortcuts. In case you've mastered the shortcut and you want maybe to save something, you can just come and do the savings and you'll be good. So there is also, you go back to option. So I want to look at maybe like something, my ribbon up here, and I want to look at maybe the files, the ones that I need up there. So you come to customize ribbon. Everything that has been ticked here is already on the customized ribbons there. So in case I need to add something, so in case maybe you find that you don't have something up here, you just come and check if they are added here. And even sometimes you can add even your own ribbon in case they are compatible with Excel. You just come and import them from here, this part, and then they'll be able to appear on the top. You think that one, the quick access, are already in order. And then we have something like add-ins. So in case maybe you realize something like, let's say, Power Pivot, you come and activate it on the add-ins. Mostly when you get your Excel, you'll never get it with Power Pivot up here. And sometimes, I think in I had 2016 sometimes, and it really gave me a lot of headache because every time I had to come back and activate it. And that one you'll see it when it comes to something like regress it, because I already activated it. But every time you close your Excel, it disappears. You have to reactivate it for you to see it again. So let's say maybe I want to add to add anything. So like here, there's this regress it. You will find that it's already ticked, but it's not visible there. So the first thing to do, you just remove it like that, and then you come and, so anytime you add an add-in and you see it's not visible on your tool, you just come and activate it like that. Like that one, you see it's there. But immediately I close this Excel, and when you click on it, you see it also has its own tools, analytics tools, because these ones, they are used in by statisticians in doing their statistical maybe functions and so on. So like that. But now when I close this Excel, let's say I decide I don't want to save anything there. If I decide to open again that Excel, not unless maybe it decided to be very good and stick, you see it's not there. But when I come back to my add-in files and click go, you see it's already ticked. So most of the time you need to be very much careful when you activate something and then you don't see it. Just go back to the add-ins and then look at it. So let's say, how do I activate my Power Pivot? You come to add-ins and then click COM add-ins. When you click there, you'll be able to see it's here. Power Pivot Excel. It's already here. So once you tick it, it will appear on the upper end. And when you close your Excel and open it and you don't see it again, don't have a lot of stress. Just go to again and deactivate, activate, and then open it will just come back. Use it when you close it. When you close your work and then open another time, you just continue with the same trend until maybe you decide to upgrade to something different of Excel. So I believe when it comes to file developer tools, if you don't have it, you are supposed to come to, let me see if I can still remember where to get it. Or to ribbons. Yeah, it's here. Sometimes you find that maybe it's not activated. It's like that. You see it disappears when you don't activate. So most of the time you come, options, and then you come to customize ribbon. You'll see it's not activated here. So you'll need to activate it and then click OK, so that you'll be able to see it. And I think there's some changes. You see my home, it's there. So there's something I've done that is not supposed to be that way. So I moved my homes down. Now that is another thing. So sometimes when you do something like that, you just check. So you can change the orientation of everything. and decide maybe your Excel to be in your own maybe orientation. Am I still in, or we are really understanding everything?
You're good.
Oh, sawa. You're so quiet. Sawa. Am I mixing up things?
You're okay. We are. I think personally, I'm understanding. I don't know the rest of the guys, but thumbs up. Wanasema thumbs up. Wako sawa.
Okay, sawa sawa. So also another thing that is very important, sometimes you need to look at something like in general here. There's something like time period and maybe the locales, things like that. Mostly when you are going to advanced data analytics and advanced things, sometimes they can show you things when you are working on or trying to maybe to understand something. So most of the time, if you are getting issues, just know that it's because of the um, settings of your Excel. And most of the time, just come here and then come to option. And then also, in case you are not understanding that much, just go and Google, and then you'll be able to get maybe a way forward. But the most important thing is to know like what to do. You cannot Google something you don't know. You will Google something if you have an idea of what needs to be done. So in matter files here, I think that one is already like done, and I've I've at least extended or explained it well. In case there's any question, you can just bring it on chat, or you can ask, and then I think either when or Onesimus, you can just bring it, and then we can deal with it. So I will now go to the second part of my presentation. What was I supposed to look at? Just a minute to confirm.
Baswa,
Yes.
someone is kindly requesting that you redo the how you added the PowerPoint add-on. The
Power Pivot, okay. So
yeah.
So when it comes to things like add-ins, and I will stress it because I personally, before I knew that, I will say it took me almost 2 weeks of thinking to understand how to add something, maybe an add-in. Sometimes there's something that I think I added. It was called fuzzy lookup or something like that. It's used to, I think, link one data to another. I don't remember very well. So what you do, you come to add-ins here. When you come to add-ins, you will find that some of them are here, and then mostly, like in this, let's say when you are working with Excel add-ins, when you click go, you'll be able to see this analytics tool pack, there's this analytics tool pack VBA, and so on. So you can decide to add this euro currency tool, and then click OK. Some of them you'll be able to see them. Some of them they'll just update in their respective ribbon function where they're supposed to be, because I believe all of them have their own importance. So like Power Pivot, you just come to com add-ins here, and then you click go. Once you click go, you'll find it here. So it's written on my end, it's written Microsoft Power Pivot for Excel. Okay, so let me disable it. It's not there. Most of you will see your Power Pivot looking like this, like your ribbon looking like this without Power Pivot. But if you want to activate it, you come to add-ins, and then you click com add-ins, and then click the ones that you want to activate, and then click OK. So it's back. So, and I believe for Power Pivot, it can be from 2016, I think from 2016, 2019, 2021, coming forward. That is where you'll be able to see them. in 2010, from 2010, I don't know the other one in the middle, but I know 2016. So for 2010, you have to download it like as a third party or an external file before you can activate. Before you can activate it in your ribbon. So personally, I usually advise anybody to get the most latest Excel sheet if you want. No, Excel tool or Microsoft Excel or Microsoft either Word or anything, the latest, so that at least you can enjoy most of these updates or the latest updates that are there. So I believe on add-ins, that is we are clear. If you feel confused, just say it. It's good to be confused. Now it will mean that you are understanding at least something. Any confusion? Okay, I believe it's clear. Sawa. So I'll go to insert, and then so when it comes to insert, sometimes maybe you are working. Let me change this thing to what it was. I think quite for now will work for all of us. So when it comes to insert here, insert is a very, very powerful tool. Maybe let's say I want to do some analysis on this data set, and I want to create something like a pivot table. For pivot table, there is usually pivot table here on the tables. You can see the tables. There is a pivot table, recommended to pivot, and then these tables here. You can decide to add tables on this file, on this data set. Let me remove the totals first. When I remove, there's a formula there, so I'll have to remove it. Let me remain with the data the way it is. Let's say I want to do some analysis of this data. So what I will do, I will just borrow something from the home page. It's usually important for you to make sure, number one, you've done your data formatting very well. Formatting will be taken through after this, so that at least you can understand how the formatting is being done. So I'll not dwell on it, because that one will be taken through it just after this one. So you can decide to do tables. It's important sometimes to, I find it easy when I'm using the tables. There's something wrong with this, so just give me a moment. Okay, it's formatting issues, so that one we'll look at it later. So let's say I want to add let's do it manually. So let's say I want to add a pivot table here to maybe do some analysis on this data. So on the table here, you just come and click pivot table. You can decide to create a pivot table on this same sheet, or you can decide to use an external data source. You can choose the data source on this part, or you can decide to choose existing. So personally, I want it to come in another sheet like that, or you can decide you want it to come on this same sheet, existing sheet. You just click existing, and then you decide to put the location on this part here. So let's say I want my pivot table to be on this part. So because it's a small data set, you can use There's a lot of data quality issues here. So let me unmerge. So you can decide to use the same worksheet, because maybe you want to, because the data set is very small, so it will not give you any problems. And you see, when you do the merging and things like that on this Excel, you see it will just refuse to create a pivot table. So always make sure that such things are not there in most of your worksheet once you have done your data cleaning and everything. So like this one here, there's this. So I can decide maybe I want to look at something like department of this data. So how many departments are there? So you just come and put the department maybe in the row, and then maybe you can decide to do the engagement type to be on the columns like that, and then you can now decide to maybe want to look at annual salary per department. That is per. So here you see it's giving you raw. It's not telling you what it is. So sometimes you need to come and change the name to fit whatever it's here. So you can decide to copy that. So you can still do those changes. So these ones we look at it as we continue, mostly on the Power Pivot and those when we are looking at the advanced part. So this one we are just looking at the ribbon, and now we are on the insert. So I'm just going quickly so that we can get an at least basics of it. Like here, once you do once you add the table, or you've added the power table, you see you can summarize now your data on this part. So it's always important to format your data so that you understand it. Like this one, even you are just seeing numbers 393,600. So you need to maybe add this comma so that you are able to know that it's either in million or thousands. The data is in millions or thousands. And then this one is aggregated in terms of sum. It's the sum of annual salary that we are looking at. So of which is the best, which is good, in case maybe you could find that maybe it's doing count. You see that one maybe not, unless you want to know how many, let's say the finance has maybe in the payroll, it's 4, maybe IT or something like that. But the most important thing is that maybe you want to look at sum like that. So once you find it like this, you can decide maybe to retain the grand total. So, and once you've maybe added that pivot table, you can see the pivot table analyze here. This is very important when it comes to maybe when you want to even name the pivot table. And sometimes maybe you want to link this data to something else. So it's important to always name your pivot table. Let's say this one is sum of annual salary. Let me leave it at that. So when I click on it, it activates. When I click outside, you are not able to see it. So you need to be very careful. So sometimes so there's this design here, like let's say if I want to look at this grand total here, maybe if I want to remove either, I can decide to come and maybe remove the grand total and remain with this. Sometimes you can decide to just do that quick analysis, maybe to just understand your data set. Okay, so it does not mean that you have to do it when you are finishing up. Maybe you are maybe when you are now doing the hard stuff or the advanced stuff. Sometimes during your maybe initial analysis or during your initial understanding of the data, you can decide to come and create something like this one, maybe to just understand, okay, which department had the highest. The reason why I'm removing the totals is, can you imagine you have this, okay, there's let's say in the engagement types, there's a contract and then there's a payroll, of which there's that. So imagine you adding something like, let's say you already have the grand totals here and you want maybe to understand this data set. Grand totals are not important at this point. Maybe they'll be important as you are working on your final analysis in future, when maybe you have cleaned everything and you want to look at it. I can decide to switch it off first to just understand the data set, how it is. And maybe if I want to drag through a specific, let's say I'm looking at something like IT alone. I want to understand maybe IT or maybe finance. You can double click on it and it will give you. You remember when we did count, it gave us 4. Now it counted the number of the counts, like how many, like line by line. Like let's say that one is it row? That is row by row. There are only 4 rows that it picked, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it did annual. Let's say here we want to do the quick analysis that you can do, like that one. Yeah, you see this 300 and this one here. That one is this. It has just summarized it for you here. Oh, sorry. It's here. 390, 600. So sometimes you can be maybe in your department, and this is something that most of the time, maybe you face on a day-to-day basis. Maybe you've been asked to give maybe the quantity of maybe you are working on inventory. I'll talk about my field mostly when I'm using examples, because that is what I deal with maybe on a daily basis. Maybe you've been asked to give a maybe quantity of inventory that maybe is available, and you have divided your inventory into different categories, and you want the main category in terms of the quantities. You can decide to use the pivot table to create quantity in terms of like summary of the main quantity before you come on the sub quantities that you have. Because once you have the something like this one here, you can just double click and give you the sub quantity, the sub products that you have in that specific quantity as you are working on it. Okay, so that is now the importance of using the Power Pivot. And even from this point, you can now decide even to use maybe graphical. You can now decide to use maybe something like, let's say I can decide to choose this one and then come here and then now. Is there any question? There is a mic that is on. You can decide maybe to look at it in a graphical way like that, so that maybe you understand further your data set, like the trend. Like this one here, you can see there's a very abnormal trend here. So you can decide maybe to look at marketing. So you can find that marketing is very high. So in terms of payroll, of which it's normal, because marketers, they usually need a lot of maybe funding. Sometimes you find that maybe there are a lot of commissions that are being paid out to them and so on, depending on the organization or the field that they are dealing with. So that is how you use the insert button here. So that is the power table. So we have the picture here in case maybe you want to add a picture into your data set. Okay, I think I'm almost done so that I can give the next person. So in case you need to add the picture, you can just come and add it there. So the most important part here I will talk about is the shape. You remember when we were doing Power BI, there's a way we were creating we were setting up our sheet in a way so that we could bring everything together. So here, the most important thing here, just work with shapes. So the first thing, you disable the grid lines. Immediately you start working with Excel that much, these grid lines sometimes they can be a lot of, they bring a lot of distractions to your work. So you can decide to disable them. And then now maybe you decide now to bring the shapes. You can imagine how now your work will start looking when you start working with the shape like that. So these are some of the things that we'll be looking at when we'll be working on analytics or building now the dashboard. We'll be building now this one using this part of the shapes, because now we'll be using different shapes to create them and then now merging them with our data so that at least it can be something something good for the eye, for maybe you are creating something for your boss or for your investor or things like that. So that is how we'll be looking at them. And then we have add-ins here. So I don't think there's anywhere I've ever used that. So the most important thing on this insert also that we'll look at is the charts. So the charts, there are different charts that are usually here. So when you are creating charts, the disclaimer that I will say I'll put is don't use the 3Ds because they look fancy. Use something simple, something that can be understood by maybe the end user. It depends with the end user, who the end user is. You can decide to create, like this one is a 2D. I don't see if it has a lot of problems. So this, for me, this one is the one that I like using. So we'll be building this one later. So you can decide to even bring the format field for this. You can bring those format areas and then decide to change different things. Like here, you can decide to change the color to something else. So those ones will work on them as we move. So there's also maybe we can decide to change it to column chart. We have things like those ones. Some will not work when we are using power tables. So you need to know which ones are mostly used. But mostly we'll be using the column charts and the line charts, line graph, because those are the most used ones. But we'll look at the charts in full as we go. There are different types of charts here. So if you want to activate things like these ones, you just come and click here on the chart, and then you look at the one that you need. So it's usually good to practice. The more you continue practicing, the more you'll continue like understanding the chart and the chart areas the way they are. So for that, I will look at the next one that I'm supposed to look at so that I finish quickly. So there is a Power Pivot. Power Pivot will interact with it when we'll be dealing with maybe data as we go. But let me try to see if we can activate it here. Let me remove that first and this one. So let's say I want to add this data set. I wanted it to be on a table so that it could be easy. So sometimes when you copy your data, it's good to copy it as value. Don't copy a lot of with its original format. These dates, you can see those dates have changed. So the first thing to do is to do the formatting. Make sure that everything is showing up well. So what I will do, I will just allow me to be quick. Yeah, this is what I needed. So let's say if I want to activate my power pivot, I'll just come to this data set and decide to say cells. Allow me to do that. And then maybe come to the power pivot. Here you'll not see a lot of activities because there's nothing. Nothing much here. Just a minute, let me do some formatting. So when it comes to that, we'll be able to interact with it in this way. So you come and add that data set in a model like that. So when it comes here, that is where now we'll find there are additional ribbons that we'll be interacting with. This now behaves like Power BI, because when you use Power Pivot and Power Query, now you do the query on the Power Query, and then now all the data that you'll have maybe gathered and analyzed, all of them you'll come and do most of the analysis and even work on the DAX on this part. Like this one here, maybe we want to find the sum of this. So we'll just say maybe something like sum equals, let's say, sum maybe of annual salary. And then once you do that, you can now do your formatting here by doing those formatting there. These ones, you should not have a lot of worries about it. We'll just work on them as we go. We are just looking at maybe some of the ways you can use maybe the ribbons or some of the formulas that are here. So this is how you just do it. And then when you go now and start building your something like pivot table, you remember we've worked on the pivot table. You can also build it on this part. And then now you build a pivot table and then you link everything. Through that, you will have automated your data. So these ones will work on them later as we continue with the training or as we continue with the course. So this is how Power Pivot works. So you just load the data like that. It's not something that difficult to do. Once you load it, now that is when now you start working on the data. So this data will work on it as we go and as we progress towards Power Pivot. So that is Power Pivot. So for Regressit, I already showed you how to unlock it. So that is how you unlock Regressit, and then now from there you now start working on your statistical data. You decide what to do with the data. So with Excel, you are like the king, or you are like the one to decide what you want to do with it. You can decide to use Excel as a data collecting tool, and then you analyze your data using it. And most of the time, as much as it's complicated, maybe to understand one or two things or to join one or two things together, once you start getting it or once you start understanding it, it becomes now simple or easier now to maneuver and move across your data set. To also so that also I can give my colleagues time to also present what they have. I think for my part, that is all I had to do. I don't know even if I've left anything out. In case I have, you can just tell me. I've gone through the file section, Power Pivot, and then the insert section, and at least I touched on the Regressit. So Regressit, you can just look at it. Maybe you can Google what it does, and then for those people who they want to look at mostly statistics. It deals with mostly statistics. If we get time, we can see at least how it operates maybe in as we go with the practical. So that is all on my end. Not unless there is a question, I'll be able to attend to it. Any question? In case there is none, I will hand over to Owen to take over. Do we have any question? Ama tuko sawa, ama tumechanganyikiwa, ama we've not understood? Have we understood?
I think you're doing well.
Okay, sawa.
Yes.
Now, Owen, welcome, and thank you for listening to me. Now I'll just support on the back end.
Great. Thank you for that session, Waswa. I think everyone is happy and good explanation. It's brilliant. So allow me to share my screen in just a moment. But as I'm sharing my screen, I'd like to enlighten you guys a little bit on Excel. People underestimate the power of Excel and they don't know the capacity it really has. But to my surprise, some people use Excel as an actual database. So they can be able to store everything in that database. They merge these workbooks to generate a lot of data and everything. And it's quite good. So you can do a lot with your Excel, a lot of things actually. Only a few people are able to understand that, but now we are here to enlighten each other. Okay, my screen is coming on. I hope you can all see my screen. Good. So I'll be taking you through the introduction part, which will contain the home page, not the home page, but the home tab, the developer tab, and the view and the quick shortcuts on how to maneuver in your Excel. I'm using a dataset from Kaggle. Basically, most of our datasets or the datasets that we might be using here will be from Kaggle, and we will set a drive for them to, you can access, download them. But if you want to play along with different types of datasets, you can go to Kaggle, open an account, and you will find a whole site full of data that you can play along with, do interactions with, and all. So the home tab is one of the most essential tabs that you can ever utilize. If you look at my Excel, there's no much difference between Excel and Google Sheets. They work hand in hand. The beauty about Excel, it has more features compared to Google Sheets. Google Sheets is a cloud-based form of Excel sheets. Excel sheets have two versions. There's a cloud one and there's the one that you install the application on your machine. So they all work hand in hand. Someone told me that Google Sheets is better because it saves the data automatically for you. That can also happen in Excel. You just need to activate it. So our dataset is about accessories. So I'll be showing you some of the tabs that we have right here. So first and foremost, I will start with the simple tricks that we have here. If you look at the home tab, we have the paste, we have the normal formatting, we have aligning, we have merging and wrapping of data, we have the number formatting, currency, and such. We have the for the let me say cleaning of the data. You can use this as part of the cleaning of the data. We have this other part to insert, delete, format cells. We have the quick summation. We have the autofill, the clear, sorted filter. Okay, fine. Let me share this data. Someone is requesting for the data. Let me upload. Allow me to upload it, then come back.
As Owen uploads the data, you can ask any question that you have. As Owen uploads the data.
Which version of Excel has this document cloud?
Pardon?
Which version of Excel has these capabilities? You can save like Google Sheets.
Currently, I'm using Microsoft 365, so you can be able to connect it to your OneDrive, so it will update automatically. Also, there is the option of setting up from the options list. Then it will be automatically saving for you after every, let's say, a few seconds or something. I think there's that trick somewhere. I can go through it maybe later on.
Okay.
Onesimus?
Yes, to all of that, from your offline Excel, you can connect with your Microsoft account. So you'll be in position to upload your data on OneDrive, not Google Drive, but now OneDrive. Is that okay, Nemo?
Kindly come again.
So to our offline Excels, because most of us are using offline Excels. Is that true?
You are using what Excel?
Offline. The normal Excel that you open.
Offline.
So you can connect your Microsoft account to the Excel, so that whenever you are doing anything, the autosave button will be activated. So it will be saving the data or the processes that you are doing in your OneDrive, to your OneDrive.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, that only happens.
How do you do that? Do you go to your Excel, the Excel yenyewe ama unaenda kwa OneDrive?
First of all, you have our Microsoft account. Is that true? Because
Microsoft account ni gani tena?
Outlook.
Yes.
Hata sijui kama niko na kifaa hiyo, Mungu wangu.
But Onesimus, Outlook, does it require a periodic subscription?
No,
there's a free option. Yes, you are given, I think, for OneDrive, you are given 51 GB. Let me check, a minute.
Kuna 5 GB ya bure.
Yes, 5 GB
for lifetime.
That's great news. Then is it Microsoft Office 365? Does it also require subscription, or it is part of that free version?
When you in Office that when you can decide now to use the Outlook to log into 365, but now you will just be able to view the you'll be able to view only. You cannot, if you have not subscribed, you'll not be able to have access to maybe do changes. But once you upload your data there, you are just good.
Okay.
Ngoja.
So you can just, anywhere you go, you can just log in, access your data, do whatever you want with your data. You can download it and maybe now do it on your PC and then upload it again.
I can see when I share the data, so you can continue. Is that right, Owen?
Yes. I have just uploaded a link. I was waiting for you guys to complete on that. You can download the files. I've not given you the full rights, but I've uploaded the whole folder that I'm using for this session. So on that question about what is a Microsoft account, allow me to really quick go through it in just a minute, since it's a question that has raised a bit of concern. Dakika moja niwaonyeshe kitu hapa. Microsoft Okay, so just a quick one. If you just go to your any browser that you're using, you can just say Microsoft.com. I have two types of accounts. One is a company account, so I can just say sign in. In a scenario whereby I don't have an account completely, you'll be prompted to create one. Okay, so allow me to sign in. So I'll use my Gmail account. So as you can see, it has given me my Gmail account since I have. In case you don't have, you can create one. And you say next, enter your password. You can create one for yourself. And you'll have access. So keep updating our terms. Fine. We'll log out later on. So in a scenario that I've just logged into this account, I can come to my, I need to share my whole screen. Okay. Okay, so in a scenario, let me come back here. I'll just come here and search for OneDrive on your machine. I know these applications are there. You can come open your OneDrive. This is a folder aspect part of it. So let me see. Is there? No, this is okay. So right here, if in a scenario I've never logged in at all, it will prompt me to log in. So you can see this is my account. I can be able to log in or log out and upload all my files there. Then after logging in, you can also come to your Excel, and right here at the top, there is the option of what account you're using. So you'll just say sign in, or maybe if I say add an account, it will prompt me to enter my credentials and everything. It will prompt for a password. Once you do that, you'll be able to activate this button right here. Let me just close this instead of logging in. You can be able to activate. You see right here at the top, there is the autosave. I don't know if you can see it. Right here, the autosave button is here, so you can be able to activate that. So if right now I click on this, it will tell you what it's supposed to do. So you need to follow these steps before you autosave. You can save your file. You need to fix the following. Enable editing on this file. It's currently read only. So I'll need to change this from read only because I'm running it from the archive, or I also need to upload it for it to read. So I can be able to activate this. So in a scenario where I can say, so you can see this one has already activated. So it is telling you just upload the file. We'll save your changes as they happen in real time. It will do that for you. So once this one is on, everything will copy. I hope that is clear. Nemo, I don't know if you're okay with that explanation.
Amazingly, I'm logged in.
Good.
But
That's how
hiyo autosave
haiko hapo juu.
Kwani unatumia Excel version? What version of Excel are you using? Unajua hizi you have come to notice the older versions have problems.
I'm currently using Microsoft 365.
365.
But if you have
Excel 2019.
It should work. It should work.
Okay. I'll just figure it out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, back to our data set that we were working with. It's called accessories. Using the accessories data set. Okay. So we are using our accessories data set. We will start with the home tab, as I had earlier mentioned about the various options that we have here. We need to align our data. We need to do some formatting. We need to delete some sets. We need to do some filtering, customization, and all that. So basically, various people like their data in various, they want their data using a certain font, a certain font size. Maybe they're supposed to be in italics, they're supposed to be underlined. There are some that should be in borders and everything. So we will start with this part, then go gradually going to copy pasting, separating data and all that. So let me quickly jump in. Our time is running out and I don't want to extend as much. So first and foremost, we have our first layer, which is the titles. Basically, it's the guidance to the Excel. It tells you what the Excel entails. By just looking at those headers, it's able to tell you what we are looking at. So if you look at it, we have the name, we have the variation, we have the DIY. Is it the buy, sell, color, the other color, size, the miles price, source number, and source notes, seasonal, and all that. There are lots of data. So basically our data set is more of text than numeric. So we will work with it for now, and as we gradually improve, we'll go to more mathematical and all logical and everything that Excel can offer. So basically we have the name, the variation, the DIY, the buy and sell, color, and everything. So you can see the data. These ones are referred to as rows. Moving to the right side of your screen, those are called the rows. So the name, the variation are the rows that we'll be working with. Then these are planned in columns. The A column, the B column, the C column, the D column. So as we move to the right, those are our rows. As we go down, those are our columns. Okay. So we have basically, when this data was coming, it was in this format. You could not differentiate the header and the data, but basically the top line is usually the header. So that's why I had bolded it. To bold, you just click on this B that is bold. If you just click on it, it will give you an explanation B, which you can easily do it by pressing Control B on your laptop. So you can be able to see the data without even having to press the B. It can be easily made. Control B has given us that data in that format. So we have currently we are using the font Aptos Narrow. The font size is 11. In a scenario we intend to increase the font size of the header, we can just come here and list it down and raise it to 12. Maybe we can also say we don't want to use the Aptos. You have a list on your machine. You have a list of all the fonts that you can download. Most common one that everyone uses to write their CVs and everything is the Times New Roman, and everyone loves it. You can see there's a difference between the header and whatever we have on the rows. You can be able to play along with it and see what it can be able to give you. You can also now decide to add a border to our header level, and just say you want the bottom level with a border. So as you can see, our data right below it has a separation of a black border that is on the bottoms, because we are because we have selected the bottom border only. So if we wanted to have borders, we can say all borders. So you can see it has been able to separate all that we have. You can also decide to have a little bit of color. You can just say yellow. You can see it has colored our set. And also you can decide to say the font text should not be black. We can change it to red. So it will do that for us. You can see these are basics formattings when you're doing data, so you can really use them. We have these two options right here. One is to increase the font size, and this other one is to decrease the font size. If you, instead of going right here and looking for a font size that maybe suits you, you can also come here and continue increasing until it suits your eyes. So we have currently reached the maximum that we can increase. So you can decrease the font using this other option. Instead of going back, you can see you can decrease the font up to the last bit of it. So we will work with our 12 font size, and there we have our header. So our header is very clear. That's what we want. So before I proceed to this alignment part, you can see we have the paste, the cut, the copy, and the painter, or the format painter options. So I'll show you real quick how this works. So for instance, we want to create a new sheet, and we want to take with us this header with us. So I'll say cut. Once I say cut, I'll come and click where I want to put it, then I'll say paste. So it will have moved. Basically by cut we mean moving that part to this other side. So I'll just take back whatever I had taken, but there are various options that I will be showing you. I'll just paste it back to where it was. So this can also be done by clicking on Control X, whereby Control X stands for control cut. So the X is cut, and you paste it right there. To paste, you can quickly do it by pressing Control V, and there you have it. So there you go. You Control X, then Control V, and your data is back. So to copy paste, instead of having to move all this data, you can say Control C, then bring it on to this other side, and you see you have a copy of whatever that is here, and you can paste it as many times as possible. So we will have it like that. Then you can also have a format painter, where the format painter helps you to paint as is on the sheet. Okay. See, we have basically taken this one to this other side, and it has done the opposite. Okay, so aside from these quick shortcuts right here, we have this one at the top to undo, and this one is to redo. So if I undo the change, I can be able to redo it. Undo and redo are usually at the top. The next one is this one is save, which is also can be done through Control S, and Control S means control save. Great. So we will move forward to aligning our data. As you can see, our data seems to the numbers are on this side. The text is on this other side. So we can just click right here to select all the data, or you can also select the name and say Control A, whereby it will select all the data from the bottom to the top. It will have selected all the data, so you can be able to align your data as you want. So we want our data to move to the left, so I'll just select left, and you'll be able to see all our data will be starting from the left. And you can also say you don't want your data in the left, you want your data in the middle, you just select the middle part. It's showing you. If you hover your mouse, your cursor around these items, they are able to explain to you what they entail. So if you hover around, you can see this one is center your content. This one is aligned right, means you can take your data to the right. So if you can read, you can see your data is moving towards the right. You can be able to decide how to align your items clearly. So instead of having them right, you can say right and in the middle, and it will do that for you. And you can also say you want it to the top align. So this one is a bit different. I'll show you how it goes. So we'll make sure, most of the time I usually use my data when it's aligned to the left, so I can be able to have a glimpse from where my eye starts coming to this other side. So my data is in that set. You can be able to change the angle, rotate the text upwards, rotate the text down, format cell alignment, angle counterclockwise. So this one is more of formatting of how you want your data to look like. So you can sometimes find like these comments are really wide. That's when you'll be able to use the wrap text. Wrap text ensures if the text are too long, it brings them a bit, to make them a bit readable. So we'll do this one and see how it will go. Let me select this whole column. See how it looks. Okay.
I think it is lapped already.
Yes, I wanted to make this text a bit longer so that I can show the difference.
Okay.
Yeah. So in a scenario where you can see this one is a wrapped text, this text has combined itself to the size that we want. So in a scenario it was not wrapped, it would have been that way. So we don't have the full information of whatever this cell really entails. But when you wrap a text, it is able to fit to the column size and you're able to see it. So if I move this column this way, I'll still be able to continue and read my data. You can see. So the more I move, the more my data fits in. Yeah, so that's how you wrap data. This other option is merge center, the merge option. So the merging option is where you want to merge some cells to become into one. So for instance, I might say these two cells, I want them to become to one. So I'll be able to say merge center. So it tells you merging cells only keeps the upper left value and discards other values. So that means you lose data from one of the cells and you're left with one. So for instance, you can just say okay, and you can see it has merged our data, leaving only one comment available from Able Sisters Shop only. And as you can see, it has been merged at the center, so you can be able to read it at the center. So there are various options. You can merge and center, you can merge across, you can merge cells, you can unmerge cells. So in a scenario, after maybe I don't need it to be merged, I'll just say unmerge cells. So you can see our cells are back, and since they were all the same, we will continue with them in that manner. So you can be able to see the types of options that we have right there. So the next option you can see is the formatting of the number format. You can be able to see the various formats we have. Here we have the general, the number, the currency, the accounting, short date, long date, time, percentage, fraction, and scientific. Aside from that, we have various and a lot of formatting of these numbers. So if you look at general, it just reads you the whatever you want. If it's a number, it gives you an option of if you want a decimal, how many decimal places you want. Do you want a separator? Is the number negative or positive? If you're dealing with currencies, you can be able to see the symbol. It gives you the symbol. Is it Kenya shillings? You have the various currencies we have globally. So you can be able to play along the various currencies that we have. Maybe you're not dealing with a data set that is Kenya shilling or dollar. Maybe you could be dealing with a yen or a Rwandese franc. So you can be able to play along with the various currencies that we have. We have the accounting part. This is more like a currency, but has a various option. The only this one has the option to do mathematical calculations even when the symbol is there. But for the currency, you have to remove the symbol of the currency so that you can be able to do the submissions and everything. These are the dates. We have various dates. Some countries use the month first before the day. Others use the day first before the month. Others start with the years. Others start with the day. So you can be able to play along the various dates and years that are available here. And you can also change the calendar type. Right here, most the calendars that we use are Gregorian, and other times you'll find there is the Ethiopian calendar. We have the Muslim calendar. There are various calendars that are there, so you can be able to bring them on board also, so that you can be able to play along the various calendar types that you have. So we have the time. The time is in this manner: the hour, the minute, the second. There's a other option of the minutes and the hour and the minute, and that's all. So we have the percentage. The percentage just a calculation, same to the fraction. If you want them to be up to 2 digits, as halves, as quarters, as eighths, as sixteens, as tenths, you have those various options that are there. We move on to scientific. These are basically the deeper calculations that you might do. You might want to express them in scientific modes. So you remember the high school calculator you used in high school had it's called it was called something, the scientific calculator. So it's basically almost the same thing. So we have text. This is just normal formatting of the texts. These are special. You can be able to move along with them. And now we have the custom. The custom is where even you can create your own sample and add it here and use it. So you might want to merge the day, the dates and the time. You can be able to find them here. If you want to use different types of date formatting and all that, you can be able to find them right here. Okay. So these are the shortcuts to whatever we had reviewed from the more number formats. This is a currency accounting. You can see it tells you this format as dollars, euros, and other currencies. So you can be able to say, I saw some prices somewhere. Okay, these are the prices, sort of. Let me say I'll use this and I'll say they are in dollars. So you can see the figures have changed. They have added a dollar sign. So we'll be selling the 3D glasses at $122. And we have the white, colorful, one by one, the size is 1 by 1, miles price and all that. So you can be able to see that we have added that. So you can be able to see even you can see the percentage, you can see this accounting separator. Let's say, for instance, if our figure right here was not 122, it was something like 12,200. We can be able to see in a scenario this was not activated. Okay. So you can see the currency has given us 12,200. So this one is commonly used in the data. If it's 1,000, it gives you the comma separator. So this other one is for removing decimals or increasing decimals. We have the two options right here. You can see if I want to decrease those decimals, I don't want any decimals completely, I can just click on this and the decimals will not be there. But we are dealing with currencies, it's good to see if there are maybe a few cents that are hidden there. And every coin matters to any business, even in cents. So that's the numbers. That's how we format our numbers in various scenarios. So we'll just go to conditional formatting. I'll show you conditional formatting and format as tables and cell styles. You can design how you want them. If you want your data to be normal, if you want your data to show it's bad, if it's good, if it's neutral, you can be able to play along all these. Check cell, note, output, explanatory, followed hyperlink. You can be able to link a hyperlink to it, input. These are just the normal cell styles so that you can be able to identify things easily. This is very helpful, especially when you're cleaning data as a data science person, as a finance person, as a research personnel, as a treasurer somewhere. You can be able to format a few things using this, and you can be able to highlight the various things that maybe you had missed and you had not made a comment to them. So we have the format as table. You can see, let me select this whole table. You can see you can be able to play along on how you want your table to look like. So it will, you can see where is your data for your table starting from to where. So you can say my table has headers so that it can be able to highlight the headers, and you can just say, okay, the operation you perform affects a large number of cells and will make, okay, let me just cancel so that it doesn't take a lot of time. Okay. I'll run with a few cells real quick. So I'll do this. Okay. So it will be able to format my cells in the various options that I want. You can see the table designs if I want them in brown, in blue. It will be able to do all that for me. So you can be able to separate your data and notice the ones that are with a green color, the ones that with a blue color represent something different. And maybe when you're even filtering, you can be able to see the only set that you are working with. So you can be able to format, you can have a large data set, but you can be able to sample a smaller set and go through it and maybe notice if there are any anomalies or anything. And it's easier, instead of going through the whole data, you can be able to take a sample and go through it. Okay, so after formatting, you can be able to see the format as table. You can be able, this one helps you in various ways. You can see the various variations that you have, the light, the medium, the dark. So you can be able to separate your data. You can use maybe a brown, but as you go, the more you go deeply, you can be able to give another color, a deeper color, and those ones that are more affected, you give them a deeper color, and you can even create your own table style. And this you can also interact with it when you're doing the pivot tables that as you had been shown earlier. So I'll go to conditional formatting. Under conditional formatting, this is where you set a few rules when you're working with. There are quick ones that have already been made for you. This one looks for greater than items. Let's say you can create a rule and say, give me a list of items that are greater than 10, or give me a set that is less than 100. It will do that for you. From this, you can say format cells. It has already picked a set of numbers where it's less than 6105. You can see it has already highlighted that for me. So let me say, give me something that is less than 120. So you can see already it has gone through my data, and it has seen there is this one, 135, there is this one. So through the whole data, it has gone through and noticed that these ones are what this person is looking for. So you can be able to filter. Let's say filter. We'll also come to that so that you can be able to see. I can be able to filter and say filter by color, and I will only be left with a set that represents anything less than whatever I had requested for. So to clear that, you can just come, select your whole worksheet, and come and say clear rules. So I'll say clear rules from the entire sheet. So that sheet, whatever I was looking for, maybe I found it, so I can clear the rule. Also, I can come right here and say, I just want a set of only those things that are duplicates to each other. So I can just come here, I'll tell it highlight cells that contain duplicate values. So as you can see, our data set has a lot of duplicate values. The 3D glasses are available. So if I just want to see whatever that is not a duplicate, I'll just go to that one and say whatever that has no fill. So you can see the bandage, the beak, the cucumber pack, the alley, the curly mustache, dull eye mask, and dull sunglasses do not have duplicates in this data set, meaning they are alone. So there is no repetition of them. So you can see we have them listed right there. So you can see through the filtering, I can just be left with that data set, whereby I can separate data that have duplicate and data that don't have duplicates. So let's do this really quick and move this data. You can see I'll just select a bandage. Then I can press on my keyboard Control Shift. Then I press the arrow. Yes, yes, yes. Yes.
Nemo has a raised
Sorry.
Owen,
Yes,
unaenda haraka sana. You're going too fast. I have not even seen where you've clicked for conditional, where you set the conditional formatting. Can you go slightly slower, please?
Okay, so I was trying to beat time, but wacha niende pole pole until you guys understand.
Sorry. Thank you.
So, okay. So let me just undo everything that I had earlier done. So I was saying, in a scenario whereby we will be we are trying to look for duplicates of values in column A. Yes.
Sorry for cutting you. I suggest that you can just go slow in case we don't finish today. Tunaweza malizia kesho as we continue.
So, haina shida.
Yeah, I think that will be fine so that we don't go fast.
So.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thanks. So, guys, I was saying in a scenario whereby we want to look for duplicate figures and separate them from the current sheet and have a sheet that carries duplicate items from column A, and the other one carries items that don't have duplicates, so that you can be able to see the various differences that are there. So you'll just come to conditional formatting. As you go to conditional formatting, you'll select the option to highlight cells rules. So we have a set of rules. I had earlier mentioned about greater than. Right here, you look for items that are greater than a number that you will enter. This for less than acts as an opposite of greater than. You look for items that are less of the value that you're looking for. And maybe you're looking for a certain item that is in between. You can be able to get it highlighted where there's this and this. You'll put the between. The equal to, you can say, give me all items that are equal to 100. So it will be able to list that for you. You can look for a specific text within your sheet that you're working for. So you'll just say text that contains. You can say birthday sheets, and it will list only items that contain birthday sheets. Or maybe if you're looking for a certain date through your data set, you can say a date occurring within maybe this period or this specific day. You also have the option to select items that have duplicate values. In our scenario right now, we are looking for items that have duplicate values. So I'll just click on duplicate values, and it will ask you a question. Format cells that contain a duplicate value. Okay, so what will it do once it selects for you? You can say values that will be filled with light red, fill with dark red text. That's what we are looking for. You can be able also to change. Maybe you don't want red, you want yellow, you want green, you want light red, you just want red text, you don't need anything else. So for me, I want light red, fill with a Dr. Jens listed that for me. You can see the 3D glasses have been selected. They are duplicate. The body shades the same. The bottom read. Yes.
Let me interrupt you. Where have you clicked? I have not seen you clicking anything saying that it is red or it is what. Me naona tu. Yeah. I've just seen that you've selected.
Okay.
It's my screen that is having a problem.
So I'm in column A.
Yes. In column A.
Try and enlarging the size of Excel from the right side.
Okay.
Down.
Yes. Let me just increase that.
Yes.
That's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay.
You can be able to see now, right?
Yes.
Good. Now I've just selected conditional formatting right at the top. Under the home page, there is that slot for conditional formatting. You just select on that. Then right below it, there is a whole list of items. There is the highlight cells. There is top/bottom rules. There is data bars. There is color scales, icon sets. Maybe if you want to create your own new rule, you can be able to see there is a new rule. If you want to clear the rules that you've entered, you can clear it. You can also manage the rules that are there. Maybe you have a set of rules. You can be able to manage them.
Where there's a problem,
yes,
yes, it's not visible. I think because you've not. Is it possible to share the entire screen?
Okay, let me
click on it. I think you are the one to view on our side hatuoni kitu.
Okay. Haya, kidogo tu.
Thank you, Wako. I thought I was seeing my own things.
Yeah, tunaona
pole.
Sioni kitu, mimi nilikuwa tu nakaa tu naona unasema conditional formatting unafinya, hakuna kitu inatokelezea.
Makosa ni yangu. Wacha tuone. Unaona sahi?
Afadhali ningeongea tu. Sasa naona.
Yes, sisi ni wanafunzi hapa, hata kama ni mimi naongea, sisi wote ni wanafunzi. Makosa ni yangu. Sikuwa najua nikishare ka screen yangu peke yangu, kumbe ni mimi naona.
Sawa. Nigerian brothers, poleni.
Good. The good thing is I'm teaching you in English, so everyone is we are all on the same page. So I was saying, when formatting, we have under conditional formatting, we have highlight cells. These are highlight cells rule. We have top/bottom rules. So you can select the top 10 items, the top 10%, the bottom 10 items, and it will just filter for us only that we want. That is above average. We can be able to calculate average and be able to see anything that is above average and whatever is below average. You have data bars. You can be able to get a set and fill the data bars. You can be able to create something for it. These data bars are commonly used by product managers. Product managers love to use this format when they are trying to showcase where the development of certain projects or maybe the implementation of certain projects have reached. So it will be able to show you the longer bar, the shorter bar, where it has reached. So you can be able to play along. If you're a product manager, you can be able to use Excel for this case. You have the color scales. So this one shows you the higher you go, the cooler it becomes, as we were told. So you can be able to show the higher you go, it goes blue, 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 blue. As you come below, it comes red, red, red. You can be able to use these to do all that. You have the icon sets, direction, shapes, ratings, and all that. These ones are used to maybe have some people play along with them, directional and all that. So you can also create your own type of rule. You can just say, I want to format all cells based on their values. You can be able to do all these. These are the various colors that you have. You can be able to add all this. That's why I told you Excel is an actual database. If you use it well and you use it in powerful machines, it can be able to help you a lot. Someone, I know of someone who is using Excel as their payroll for a number of, for 232 employees, and he's using Excel and has a record of since 2017 on Excel. So ukitaka KRA yako ya 2017 anakugeneratea kwa Excel, ametengeneza mpaka hiyo KRA format of the P9 form. So for us today, we will be under column A, we'll be looking for duplicate values. So we'll just click on conditional formatting, highlight cells, rules, say duplicate values, and then it will ask us a question. We are selecting duplicate values, or maybe we want only unique values to be selected in the red color, or we want the duplicate values to be selected in the red color. You can select the various color tonations that you want. Just say okay. Then you can be able to filter the name. From the name, we just want items that have no fill, meaning they have no color, so meaning they are not duplicates. So under bandage, I'll just select bandage. And to be able to select all this, I can select right here at the top and copy it as it is and take it to another sheet. Or in my case, I had already created, this data is a lot, but it's going to finish in a minute. Good. So I've copied this data. So in a scenario, I want to copy just a few cells. I can just click on bandage, then say Control Shift, and I'll move towards right using the arrow that points to the right, like that. Then I'll say I don't want to copy everything. I just want to take the 5 cells. So I can say Shift, then down, then it will select for me the number of cells that I want. Then I'll say Control Copy of just the sheets that I want, and then I'll paste them wherever I want. Good. You can see I have data set kangu kadogo hapa, the one that I will use, and it will show you this simple stuff. So if you look at this, I have a different set of those that have been filled and another one that has those that have not been filled. So if I see this contains duplicates and the other one does not, so we have separated that data. So that's how you do conditional formatting. It's really easy, it's really quick. It saves you a lot of time if you know how to do conditional formatting. If you have a large data set, you can be able to separate the various data that you have. So after this, I have been able to get the data that I wanted, so I can clear the rules from the entire sheet. It's very important for everyone to understand you need to keep a record of the original sheet that you're using. The reason why you can play along with the original sheet to the extent of mixing up the data, and you might not be able to understand what happened and where it happened. So I'll show you where you can be able to create a copy of your original data. So the first thing when you open an Excel, you just come right where the sheets are. Yes?
Sorry, just carry on.
Okay. So I just come to accessories, right click on it. As you can see, we have the various options: insert, delete, rename, move or copy, view code, protect sheet, tab color, hide, select all sheets, link to this sheet. So our option for creating a copy, I'll just click on move or copy. Then I'll specify the sheet that I want to create a copy for. This is the workbook that I want, so I'll just say create copy. and I'll say okay, and it will create a sheet right here, and it will tell you accessories.2 into brackets. So it's a duplicate of the original. So there it is. You can be able to protect the sheet. By protecting the sheet, you can be able to set a password, select all the sheets, all the things that you don't want to be touched. So I don't want anyone to do anything to that sheet. So I'll say I'll lock everything. In a scenario whereby you're working with a data set that various people have access to, you can be able to do this to lock your work. So it has prompted me to re-enter the password to proceed, and that sheet is locked. So if I leave that sheet, let me see. If I want to delete, I'm the owner. I can delete. Maybe someone else can't. I'll check. Okay, let me see this one. Can I delete? No. Yes. This is what I was talking about. So it will tell you the cell or chat you're trying to change is on a protected sheet. To make any changes and protect the sheet, you might require to enter a password. So that's how you lock and protect your data for someone else not to interfere with it. So I'll move to the next part, where is cell formatting. And right here we have various options. We have insert, delete, and format. I'll start with insert. In a scenario whereby I want to insert a new cell, I can be able just to say insert cell. If I want to insert sheet rows, I can be able to insert sheet rows. If I want to insert a sheet column, if I insert the sheet, insert a new sheet, and that's it. So let me show you. If we want to insert a new column, I'll just select, let's say I want it to be on column B. I want column B to be separate. I want another column before column B. So I'll just select that column B and say insert, and it will insert for me a column. Okay, so that's how you insert a column. And if you want to insert a row, you just select the row you want. Maybe it's number 2, you just don't want it to be number 2, you have something else you want to put in number 2, you just select the row, then say insert, and it will populate the row on top for you. Okay, in a scenario whereby you don't want the row to come there, you can just come, select the row, come to this, and you will be able to specify the type of so you can say insert. You can just click on it and say insert. It will give us to the top. I want it to give me something from that I'll prompt to add to the bottom. Yeah, so it will give you an extra row if you want it in that manner. So that's how you do the inserting the various items that you want. If you want sheet rows, it will continue adding for you. Insert a sheet, it will create a new sheet for you. So that's about inserting. So we go to the delete. As you can see, I had inserted several rows right here, so I can delete them by just clicking on delete. And also I have the option to say how I want to delete. I can delete a column, I can delete a cell. So I can come right here and say delete, and whatever that was below will just go up because we are deleting. If you don't want to delete, if you want to delete this white and leave it at not having anything, you can use the button on your keyboard on your laptop and just say delete. It will leave it as blank and not add anything. But if you delete fully, it will delete that cell. So everything that was below will come up and will replace whatever that was there. Yeah, so we go to formatting. So we might want to format the row height, out of it, the row height, the column width, and everything. So these ones are really quick. Maybe you come with the data and you find the data looking like this. It's not clear how it looks like. You don't know what these cells are carrying. So let's say I'm hiding a lot of things right there. So you can just come and click right here and say out of it, whatever we're looking for is the width, so we'll say auto fit width, so it will fit the width that we are looking for. So if you maybe want to fit the height, on rare cases I've seen people want to fit the height, you can say auto fit the row height, whereby it will try and fit the height. But you see the data is going down, so basically in rare cases would you want to format the height. So I'll move on to the editing tab, whereby you will be doing a lot of summations and all that. So I'll go to sheet one that we created right here with a smaller data set. So you can see we have the summation. This is sum alt. This is quick summation. If you don't want to type sum of this and this and this, you can just come where, let's say, like right here, I have these figures, and just come right below at the bottom. I want the sum of this column, and I'll just click on the sum, and it will ask me, do you want it to run from D8 to D11? Because that's where, if you look at that figure, it tells you there's NFS. So are you sure even the NFS is part of calculation, so it might not be able to calculate? So I'll just say okay, it will give me the value. Maybe I wanted it to calculate all the values starting from D2 to D11. So I'll just come and erase the D8 and put D11. When I click on this, you will notice there's a difference. Because these items are not the same, they are all not numbers, they will give me an error, or maybe they can be able to calculate and skip the ones that are in text format. In some scenarios, you find it might not accept. It will tell you this is a null value, so it will not be able to go through. But for this one, it has gone through. It has given us the total of whatever D2 to D11 carries. So that's the summation. You can see I can decide to get the average. I can tell you to count the numbers. It can be able to tell you max and min. It has a lot of functions. These are quick functions. If you're a beginner in Excel and you have not crammed these functions, let's say you don't know if, else if, average, you can be able to do all this by just coming right here. These are quick access to all the easy calculations that you might want to do. For those who are gurus, they usually just write. They just start with an equal sign. I know we have done this when we were doing data science. You just write whatever that you want. So you can see the various options that we have. We have some if, we have some if s, we have some product, we have some SQ, some x2, my2, or various types of sums. And maybe we can also type in average. You can be able to see the various averages that we have. I can just say if, I can see concatenate. All these items, you don't have to cram them. Don't have to really cram them. You can just be able to come to this quick option right here. Click where you want to do the calculations for. You can be able to see, we can decide to do the average of our data set. It will give us, that's the average. Let's do it from D2. That's the average of our set. You can be able to get the min and max from right here. You can just say, give me the max. It will give you the maximum value. You can do the minimum through that set. It will tell you it's 140. You can also come right here and say you want to count the numbers. It will tell you there are only 4 numbers. So if I tell you to do for me D2 to D11, right there you can see it's an 8. So we have 8 rows because we have 10 minus 2 that are not numbers, the NFS. Yes, so that's how you do quick calculations. You don't have to cram all those formulas, but with time, for you to move more faster, it takes a lot of time to come and say, let me see this sum. It will become easier for you just write the sum yourself, and it will save you a lot of time. So with practice, you become perfect. So this other one is for fill. So I would want to fill items in a different manner. So this one happens when you want to, let's say, control, I'll copy that, then I'll come to fill and tell it how I want to fill it down. So it will select the item that is below it, so it will fill it down. So for instance, a fake nose, it has showed, so I want to fill it up. Or basically, no, let me fill this one up. No, it's supposed to have a blank space. Let's see if it will work.
Are you working with tables?
Put it on the upper
Sorry?
side. Put yeah, there, and then fill it up.
Okay, let me see. Yeah, good. I was missing that. Thank you. Yeah, so you can see you can be able to fill the various options. You can be able to fill left, you can be able to fill right. So this one will go to the right, this one will go to the left. You can be able to move along and play along with them. So you can fill a series, you can be able to do a flashy fill. A flashy fill is whereby, let's say we are doing, we have a set 1, 2, 2, and you can be able to say maybe you want to go up to 100. So you can be able to do a flashy fill through this. Didn't see a pattern. So your data requires to have a pattern. So if it's going in that manner, let's see if it notices a pattern for this. Still no. You can be able to do a flashy fill when you're having a data set that contains data that can create a certain type of rhythm, sort of. So this other one is clear. You can clear all formats, you can clear contents, you can clear hyperlinks if you've linked hyperlinks. This one is how you clear them really quick using just this button. Okay, so this other one is I think everyone knows it. So this one is how you sort your data. Let's say we can sort our data data sets from A to Z. It will take the first column, and we can also say we want it to set it in from Z to A, so that the lowest will go up. Then you can also decide to do a custom sort. Maybe you don't want to sort by the name, you want to sort by the colors. So you can say color and how it will sort the value. So you can say A to Z, and you can see. Say okay, it will sort whichever color comes first. You can also sort data more than one column. So you can say column color 1 will be our first, how we sort our data. Then I'll also want to sort our data by name, but this time it will be from Z to A. So the first one will go as the main one, then by. You can see it tells you then by. So you can see it is by name cells Z to A. So you say okay. So you can see where's our colors. Okay, it will sort this. Not filter, custom sort. It will sort by color, then by name. So it will sort the color first, then it will go to the name. That's how it goes. Then we have filter. Filter is the same one that we had used earlier when looking for various figures. This is the one. You can be able to filter by color, by no fill. We can also filter by various conditions, maybe equals, does not equate to, begins with, ends with, contains, does not contain. It will just give you a list of the items that you specify for it. You can also have various colors on it. You can sort by cell color, you can sort by A to Z and all that. And now we have the other option of find, replace, go to special, formulas, notes, conditional formatting, constants, data validation, select objects, and selection pane. So this one is where you do quick, I'll say it's like a quick access sort of where you want to find your data. Let's say if I want to find data, I'll just come right here and say find, and it will give me a prompt. What am I looking for? I mean, say I'm looking for let's say active. It will look for active. I'll say just find all, and it will show me where the active is. It has selected right here for me under style. And let's say I might be looking for something like badge. It will find for me where the badge is. So you can see we have two badges. So there's this badge and this other one. So maybe I don't want that one, I want the other one. You can be able to go along with it. You can be able to play. If maybe you have a lot of data, it will list for you all the items that have been found with the name that you're looking for. Okay. You can also decide under where there is a badge, I want to replace maybe with blue. So you can do replace. Right here you say find what badge, then replace with what blue. So let me rectify this. Blue. So where there is badge, it will replace with blue. So I can say replace all, or I can say just replace. Maybe I just want to replace this one, and the other one will remain as badge. But in a scenario I want to replace all of them, I'll just say replace all. So there will be no more badge. So in a scenario I want to find badge again, I'll say find all, and it will tell me that we could not find what we were looking for because we have replaced whatever we had. So you can be able to maybe find a spelling mistake. Maybe something was written wrongly and you want to do it, and it's a whole data set that contains numerous and numerous of data, and you cannot go finding one by one to go and change a spelling mistake. So you can just use this tool and say wherever there is this, replace with this. That will save you a lot of your time. So to quickly access this, you can use the shortcuts, where if you want to find something, you can just say Control F, and you can see find and replace will just come. So find is where you just look. If you want to replace, you just click on replace and you are able to replace it. The other part is go to. Maybe you're looking for something specific. Maybe I would say I have a big data set and I just want to go to cell number AB 116. I don't know if it will take me there. It will take me there. Let's see. Okay, go to B. We have a column AB, and you want to go to 16. Okay. This is a smaller data set.
Okay, Owen.
Yes.
The go-to is normally used.
Yes. When probably I was showing this, when you're looking for something. So I was showing if you quickly want to access a certain column. Let's say in this, let me go to this bigger data set and use the option that I have. Let's say I'm right here and I'm looking for maybe column 116 from column J. So I'll just say go to, and I will say I'm looking for, under this sheet B2, I'm looking for J116. Don't know if this one will go references involved. Let me select them. the whole one. See if it goes. Let's use this one that I was showing right here when we were looking for B2. No, I don't want B2. We want AB 116, which will take us to cell 116. So if you can see, we have moved from where we were to AB 116. So you can see the column that we are right here on is AB 116. So this is where we were. So if I want to go back to A1, so I can just say an easier way, instead of going to go to, you can decide to type it in as Control G and say you want to go to column A16, and it will take you right to column A16, and say go to A1. It will take us to A1, and we are right here at A1. If you're working with a bigger data set and you have to move from one point to another, those are simple shortcuts that you can use. So we have the add-ins. These add-ins you had been taken through on how to install and have them every day, so there is no need for me to go back to it. The other one is analyze data. Maybe you can use this when analyzing data. This is simply just the same as pivot tables and everything. You can be able to go through. Mine is connected with AI, so you can see it's telling you various things that are showcasing from the data that we already have. You can see the sum of cell. If you want to insert a pivot table, this one is more advanced kidogo. We will go through it when we are proceeding. The other part that I was supposed to take you through really quick is the developer. I've already done shortcuts also, so I'll take you through the developer. The developer part of it is more advanced. Yes.
Oh, so because of time, we've gone overboard by 30 minutes.
Yes.
So what we can do, we still have tomorrow. So I think you'll pick up from the developer tomorrow, and from the developer and the other, and then I will give it to Onesimus. I'll finish up on on the ribbon section. At least now everybody will be now onboarded.
Okay.
Yeah, so that also we stick on the timeline.
Yes.
Okay, no problem.
We can also hear some feedback from the members before we close.
Yes, sure.
I believe it could be of benefit to us and to the whole team.
Okay, Sawa. So
there is someone called Kevin. He said we have time.
Yeah, Kevin, we are supposed to we were supposed to finish at 8:30, so that at least we work on some other things. Then from there we do it maybe tomorrow, because there's that timeline that we had given that we'll be working with, so that we also don't compromise other people, maybe in case someone else has something to do. Okay, so but it will be a free session after this. Now maybe those who are willing to continue maybe and look at one or two parts that they have not understood, it will be an open discussion after the timeline that we have been given, or the one that we gave that we'll be working with. Yes, we can just take some few comments, some few questions if there are any, and then we can call it a day, and then we'll meet again tomorrow from 7 to 8:30. Yes.
The session was really great. I'm glad we've actually started from the actual basics. which I think we haven't really done in the past. So yeah, I loved it. Have a good night, guys. And thank you to our instructors.
Thank you for the feedback.
And to Siki, we have more for you. So there's a reason for you to be tuned.
Yes, I'll make sure I'm here each and every time.
Thank you.
Any other comment? Any other question? Okay, now that thank you, Eve, for the comments. So, okay, so thank you guys for joining in. You can join in again tomorrow. You see, the basic is really something very wide. Once we pick from here now, the others will be just like a repetitive thing. Now we'll be working on now specific data sets so that maybe we can manipulate the data sets and also try to understand them as we go. By the time we are done, I think you will have at least gotten a direction on where to start from when it comes to Excel and analytics. So because most of these things are usually like they are dependent on one another. Well, once you understand Excel, when we go to SQL, you'll understand now most of the functionalities, mostly when we talk about the things like functions and so on. So guys, thank you for joining. In case you missed out some of the sections, you can watch the recording. I think someone was just doing it, the recording for us, so you can watch it and then maybe go through it. When we meet tomorrow, you can ask the questions because now we'll be finalizing on this tomorrow so that when we meet again next week, we'll now be working now on specific data sets and also now working on now how to build different things. One thing builds to another. When you miss one session, it will mean that you'll be missing a lot of things. So thank you for joining, and I think we will meet again tomorrow from 7:30 East African time up to 8:30 East African time, and then I will close for that time. So thank you, and have a good evening. So not unless there is any other comment from my colleagues, fellow instructors, I think we can call it a day. We meet again tomorrow.